So I was on Amazon last week looking for some new Pop Funkos to buy because I clearly don't have enough. And I found a Blue Eyes White Dragon Pop Funko, and I was like, that's cool, I'm buying it now, I want it, ship it to my house right now, Amazon, give it to me now, I want the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I think I might have a problem. After I bought the Blue Eyes White Dragon, I realized that a lot of people were selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards on Amazon. So I started looking at some of them and I was like, man, I wish I had that card when I was a kid. That would have been really cool if I had that card, or that one, or that one, or all the ones in this box that I bought on Amazon, cause I'm still a kid on the inside and I wanted all these Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I never had as a kid, and now I got them in this box. And they're really cool, and they're all the cards that I wanted as a kid, but I couldn't buy them because I was a kid and I didn't have money. But I did have a lot of cards as a kid, but not these ones. Well, some of these ones, but there's still some really cool cards in here that I did not have. So here we have the box on my desk, it's right here. And I have gone ahead and put some gaffer's tape on the top because I don't want to share my address with the internet. Why would I do that? That would be a bad idea. I also got this cool little box cutter knife that I'm gonna use to open my box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And also, if it looks like I already opened the box, that didn't happen. I didn't open the box already because I didn't know what was inside when I opened it the first time. Not that happened because I didn't open it already once. It was never opened, and if I had accidentally already opened it, then that would be because I didn't know what was inside it. And if I did open it, then I didn't open it any further than this, because once I did, I would have realized what was inside the box, and I would have stopped opening it, because it was the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I wanted to make a video about. Duh. So here's the box. It looks like this, and it's made out of cardboard. I was kind of hoping it would be made out of metal, but it's not. But it's still pretty high quality, even though it's just cardboard. So, you know, it's still a pretty cool collector's box that I'll probably keep all these cards in. I like it, you know? It's fine. It's not metal. I didn't pay that much for it. If it had been metal, it probably would have cost like $20 more than I paid for it. But it's still pretty cool, isn't it? Isn't it? The microphone's over there, so the sound probably sounded terrible when I cover up like... Okay, so I need to safely and strategically, surgically open this box without damaging it in any way, because if I cut the box, I'd be really sad, because it's a cool box. Ooh. It feels like cool Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So right on top, we have the one, the only Exodia, the Forbidden One, which I believe this does contain all 5 pieces. So let's save that one for last. I think this might be like some sort of random assortment of cards that they throw in each box so that there is still some sort of chance that you get like something different each time you buy this box, but you still get the same 3 standard decks aside from this. I don't know. I wasn't expecting there to be this other thing, so let's see what's inside here first, and then we'll move on to the rest. Okay, so it turns out I was actually wrong about this little pack of cards, and we actually have some really cool ones in here. So on the top we have this Electromagnet Turtle, which I've never heard of. I may have seen it on the show before, but I don't really remember it. So also in that pack we have these 3 really cool cards here that they can't actually be used in a duel. It says so at the bottom of the card, but these are 3 cards from the show. So these are some pretty cool cards. Even though you can't use them in a duel, they are pretty cool cards to have from the show. Also in that pack we have the 3 god cards. We have Obelisk the Tormentor, the Winged Dragon of Ra, and Slifer the Sky Dragon, which are 3 cards I never had but always wanted, and they were always super expensive. I remember going to Target once and they had Obelisk the Tormentor there, and you could buy that card along with like 3 just random packs of cards, and that was like $40 just for this card and like 3 random packs of cards that you could normally get for like $5. And on the backs of the cards, they are colored to match the color of the god card, which I think is pretty cool, but because of that you can't actually use them in a duel. I'm pretty sure you can't anyway. And they're all holographic cards, which is really awesome. The last 3 cards in that little pack were 2 trap cards and 1 token card. I don't recognize the trap cards from the show, but the token card, while it can't actually be used in a deck, it's just supposed to be used as a token. Some cards require you keep track of tokens, so that's cool that they have that. And on the card is Yugi, or actually it's Yami, and he's got like a little cool Kaiba dual disc thing, and it's holographic. They're all holographic. All the ones in that little pack were holographic, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with this middle deck here. On the back it says it's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links deck. I think you can buy this separately as its own deck. So let's go ahead and open up this one. I don't really recognize this card. It's Valkyrion, the Magna Warrior. I remember there being a lot of different robot type cards, but I don't specifically remember this one. Next up we have Dark Magician. Now this is not the original design for Dark Magician, but it's still pretty cool. It's holographic, and I really like this card. Dark Magician was always a good favorite of mine, but it wasn't my #1 favorite. That belongs to Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl was always my favorite card. I even had one at one point, but I believe I lost it. Now the rest of the cards in this pack seem to just be regular cards that I've actually probably have a lot of these. I'm not going to go through and name all of them, but we'll quickly skim through to see what we have here. We have a few monster cards here. I think this is primarily actually just a bunch of spell and trap cards. Not really too many monster cards in this first pack. And I'm hoping the next 2 aren't quite like this, but we still really got some pretty cool cards. We got all the god cards. We got my favorite card in the game, so I'm pretty happy with that so far. And then obviously at the end we have the card that's just, you know, for the deck. So here's Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution deck. First up we got Magician of Black Chaos. I remember this card. It was a special summon card. I thought it was really cool. I think I had it in one of my decks. I may have actually lost this card along with Dark Magician Girl. This is another Dark Magician card. I might have had this one too. Dark Magician of Chaos. Silent Magician level 8. I'm liking these magician cards. Look, here's another Dark Magician card. I think this might be the original design, although I could be wrong. I think this might not be the original design of Dark Magician. It's still a pretty cool Dark Magician, and it's holographic. So I think we've gotten to the point where the rest of these are non-holographic cards that I probably really won't recognize most of them. Although these do look like some cool monsters. Oh look, we have another Dark Magician Girl. That's awesome. Looks like we've got some more warrior type cards here. Some machine type cards. Rock type, marshmallow. Another Karibo, and some more spell cards. Some of the same from the last one. This looks like a very magician heavy deck. Yeah, these are all just some cool cards. Oh, this is a Dark Paladin, fusion of Dark Magician and Buster Blader. That's a really pretty cool card. I like that one. Alright, so this is the deck I've been waiting for. It's the one with Exodia. So let's go ahead and open that one up. So on the top we have, of course, Exodia, the Forbidden One. Was in the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is the head. And I'm guessing, yep, we have the leg here as well, the right leg of the Forbidden One. We have the left leg of the Forbidden One, the right arm of the Forbidden One, and the left arm of the Forbidden One. Having all 5 pieces of Exodia was kind of the dream as a kid. I think even more so than having the 3 god cards, just because that was the one from like the first episode of the show. And it was really hard to get. Like, I'm pretty sure I even met a few kids that had some of the cards, and then I think I went to a tournament once where a kid had all 5 pieces, and I was like super blown away. I've never owned all 5 pieces of Exodia, but now I do, and that's kind of cool. So after Exodia, we have Black Luster Soldier, which was always a cool card. I actually have this card as a foil, I'm pretty sure. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. I'm pretty sure I have this card, but I'm not entirely sure. This is the original Dark Magician design. That's the one. That's really cool to have. This is the Dark Magician that I remember. This is the one that Yugi had on the show. And I really like this design. It's too bad it's not a foil, but it's still pretty cool to have. Dark Magician Girl again. So we now have 3 Dark Magician Girls, my favorite card in the game. This is also the same design I remember from the show, and I think this was the same design that I had on the one that I had before I lost it. So now it looks like we just have some more regular monsters from the original show. I do recognize a lot of these, but they do seem just like regular monster cards. They don't even have effects except for Kuribo, so that's a 3rd Kuribo now. And then these look like just some basic spell cards here, some duplicates that we already have, Blackluster Ritual for summoning Blackluster Soldier, some trap cards, and Gaia the Dragon Champion. So that's all the cards we got here. Here's the 3 cool Dark Magician cards all side by side. And here's the 3 Dark Magician Girl cards all side by side. Now you might be wondering, Adam, did you get a haircut? And the answer is yes. I recorded the first half of this video about 2.5 weeks ago, and in that time, I got a haircut. Now also in that time, that Pop Funko I told you about earlier in the video came in the mail. It's pretty cool, it has blue eyes, it's white, and it's a dragon. Now another thing I ordered is this cool little binder. We can take all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards we just opened, stick them right in there. Pretty cool. Now I'm not going to be putting all the cards we just opened in here. I'm actually going to be putting a lot of the cooler cards like Exodia and the God cards in this really cool binder, along with some of my other cards from my collection. And also, I ordered even more cards in the mail. That's right, we have 11 more cards to look at in this video. Some really cool cards that I think are even cooler than any of the cards that we've opened so far. But before we talk about any of that, I want to take a look at my original Yu-Gi-Oh card collection that I had as a kid, and this really cool binder of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I made when I was little. So just in case you guys wanted a closer look, here is a quick flip through of the cards in the binder that I bought, and these are all just the same cards that I've already opened up in the video, but just in case you wanted to see them again in this little cool binder, I decided to flip through it real quick just so you could see that, and that's all of them. So here's a quick look at the binder of Yu-Gi-Oh cards I had since I was very young. I maybe put this together when I was 10 or 11. It's just some of the cards that I thought were cool enough to put them in this binder. I have actually taken some of the more rare cards out of here and moved them to that other binder, which we'll get to in a little bit. Honestly, there isn't really a huge rhyme or reason as to why I put some of these in here. They're just some cards that I had and wanted to put into a binder. At the back of this binder, I actually have some flyers from Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments that I went to as a kid that I kept after all these years. And then also in the back here, I have a couple rule books along with a few dueling mats. So what you see right here is basically my collection of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I collected from the ages of 7 or 8 to about 12 or 13. So I couldn't really say for sure how many cards I have here, but I have quite a lot. Those are all monster cards. I think these are monster cards too. Yeah, these are all monster cards. Some rare, some bad. They're probably all bad, honestly, because these are all like cards from old Yu-Gi-Oh. These are all magic cards, and these are all trap cards here. This here, I think, is some sort of elemental deck that I tried to make at some point. There's different elemental cards in here. I think these were introduced in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX series that I didn't really watch, so this was pretty late into my Yu-Gi-Oh! Collecting phase. And then these cards here are actually part of the main deck that I played with. It's a dragon deck. And there were some blue eyes white dragons in here, but I moved those into one of the binders, and we'll show that later. But yeah, this is just a lot of different dragon cards, and I never really did well with this deck, probably because I was bad at building decks and I was also bad at playing the game. These cards over here are some extra cards I think, that I had in my dragon deck, and then this is my one piece of Exodia that I actually had as a kid. So I briefly wanted to mention all of these cards. They are all fake, and they were really cheap to buy, but honestly they're virtually worthless because they're fake. It's really easy to tell they're fake, especially when you're comparing them to the original cards, and even on some of the cards they have the wrong names. This entire stack is all Japanese cards, and on top of that, I'm pretty sure they're all fake. So here are the 11 extra really cool cards that I bought online. So now that the envelope's open, I'm gonna flip it over and pull out the stacks like this, and now we can look at the cards individually. First up, we have Toon Dark Magician. Now, I didn't even know there was a Toon Dark Magician, but I always liked the Toon cards, so when I saw it, I thought I definitely have to get this one. And then obviously, because I found Toon Dark Magician, had to go and get the Toon Dark Magician girl as well. Pretty cool. Now this one I kind of just threw on top of the other two. Toon Buster Blader. Really cool Toon version of Buster Blader. Classic card. Really cool Toon card. Now here we've got a really cool holographic version of Dark Magician. I had never seen this one before and figured it'd be worth adding to my collection. And then obviously, to go along with that really cool Dark Magician, I decided to also get this really cool Blue Eyes White Dragon. So the 3 god cards that we opened up previously in this video actually cannot be used in a duel. Now years later, they did release playable versions of these cards. So we have Slay for the Sky Dragon, Obelisk the Tormentor, and the Winged Dragon of Ra. Now you'll notice that all 3 of these cards are colored properly to match the rest of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They're just regular effect monsters, and on the back of the cards, they're normal colors as well, so that way they can be played in a normal deck. Now we're not quite done with the God cards because I did get 3 alternate versions of the God cards. So these are all basically the same exact cards that we just looked at. They all do the exact same things and they have the same card descriptions. The only difference is the card art. So the final thing I wanted to take a look at was the really cool binder I bought for the more rare cards here. So in the front we have Exodia, as well as the Yugi token and the 3 god cards that you can't play in a duel. On this page we have the 6 god cards that we just took a look at, along with the 3 token cards from the first season of the show. So then on this side we have a page full of Blue Eyes White Dragons. We have the really cool Blue Eyes White Dragon card we just looked at. We have the original Blue Eyes White Dragon design, and then a really cool Blue Eyes White Dragon design that I really like. These 3 cards and these 3 cards were actually in that dragon deck that I showed you earlier. Blue Eyes White Dragon was always one of my favorite cards just because of how highly they spoke of it on the show. I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way. And then here we have a page full of all the different Dark Magicians and even the Dark Magician girls. So the rest of this binder is pretty much empty, and I plan on putting some more cards in here. Who knows if I'll fill up the whole thing, but I'm really just happy to have these really cool cards that I've always wanted and never really had before. So that's basically the video. We opened some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, we looked at my old collection, and it was fun. What did we accomplish? I don't know. Will I buy more Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Maybe. Probably. I don't know. This is the end of the video. I don't have anything more to say or do, so leave. Go home. I don't want you here anymore. Like the video though, maybe subscribe. That would be cool. Bye!